But offset voxels have been confusing a load of us, and have been really kind of we haven't found a use for them. They haven't been obviously apparent, except for maybe lattice work and making it sort of not touch each other, the voxels that are crossing over. And what this technique does is it really simplifies that. So it's stupidly easy. So what you do is grab a little bar, and let's make it 8 voxels. And what you need to do is paint it one solid colour, and that weirdly is very important. So with your 8 voxel bar, you take the line tool and you make it 3 by 3. You click on one side with one voxel hanging off the edge, and come over to the other side and click it. And to see it working, you'll see 2 kind of points at the end of this line, and they'll have gone slightly slanted there. Then we get a different colour, and we get our paint tool, and we just paint every other voxel. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So what you can see there is by using the line tool, we've actually made all of these weird angled shapes. So I can, one by one, I can copy these out. And we've got all these funky little shapes that go over the boundary of a normal voxel. And with these we can do some really cool things, because where I select this is the center of what we call the prime voxel, the one voxel. That means, unlike the offset voxels which we had to use for things, we aren't selecting an open space sort of away from the center point. We do actually have control over the center point, which means for the first time we can put things next to each end and it doesn't warp in any way, shape or form. So I can make slants now that have no warping whatsoever at the ends. And I mean, this is literally just what I was playing with last night. Tenma's stream had about 30 people over there, and they were all playing with this. And at this end, I can build a line of voxels, and it does not deform the shape of the original triangle there at all. And I can do the same at this end, because the point isn't where... Let's control Z that. The point isn't where the data for this voxel is stored, it's in the middle. It keeps all the points sharp, and no doubt there's going to be loads of different applications for this. Also, people were discovering sort of immediately afterwards that if you use different shape, different size and different shape bars, you can get different shapes come out. So let's quickly do a 5 voxel bar.
Hey, which direction is the classroom from the guild hall?
If you just fly northeast. So with the 5 voxel one, we get some completely different shapes again. So we get 1, 2. In the middle, we get this super thin thing that a few of the guildies will recognise that I invented in my brain the other week and called George.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Which was my super thin. But this technique makes that without the use of any voxel reactors, none of the offset voxels or anything. This is just standard, just using the line tool on a line of material, and sort of stops being effective as you get bigger. So let's just show you what happens when we use a really big line. Why is that doing that? It kind of starts doing some weird warping things. But, I mean, some of these shapes will probably turn out to be useful, so we'll do 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. So, I mean, these ones at the end are all almost prime voxels, but simply with the line tool, we're creating what looks like it should be an offset voxel shape.
That's a really cool geometry in these.
Yeah, so you're creating loads of things, and I mean, the guys on Temma's stream just literally took these shapes and started putting them together in loads of different ways. Like, Spooty was making spikes that were touching at the points for the first, like, there's not been any way of touching 2 points as cleanly as they were doing last night. It was amazing, some of the things that they were coming up with. And it's so much simpler than any of these boards, or taking any of those things to make these shapes. It hopefully going to create some really cool things. So enjoy it, play with it, and like, I hope we can make some really cool new things.